G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an Instigating Harpoon gun with bullets exploding for area damage and plus 50 damage resistance whilst aiming, major and minor legendary effects respectively. Don't ask where the Harpoon guns came from. I know we're super far away from the ocean here in West Virginia, but they showed up somehow. They grew legs. They're like TDO guns in Borderlands 3. Anyways, so the Harpoon gun in and of itself is a very high damage, low DPS type weapon, so it makes sense to play to the strengths of this weapon with the Instigating and Explosive legendary effects, which in the right situation can boost your damage quite significantly. Now, the only problem I have with Explosive normally is its inability to deal with Scorched Beast effectively as compared to non-explosive projectiles, but the Harpoon gun still, I do recommend this as explosive because it turns your projectiles hit scan when you're usually firing the slower than, well, most of the things Harpoon, which is hard to track because it doesn't glow like plasma bolts, right? So we're doing 420 damage with the flechettes, which kind of works like a shotgun pre-patch, so it's going to have a lot of range yet and a small spread when we've got it set up with stabilizer and everything like that. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty good. Double that, 840. That's enough to take down most super mutants, which is pretty good. So let's take a look at the perks here. So normally I had Bullet Shield at rank 3 and Lock and Load at rank 1, but I've switched those around because we won't be firing this thing as much or holding down the trigger, and shoving more harpoons in this thing to make it fire is of a priority because it's a one-shot reload type deal. We're not dealing with a quad harpoon here, which is still a pretty decent weapon. So we'll chuck on these heavy gunner perks, including the disturbing looking tank Vault Boy. Got fireproof there just to, you know, make sure we don't kill ourselves with explosive strikes. That's kind of helpful. I kind of like fireproof now. I think rank 2 of it's a little bit broken right now. Explosive heavy gun, not like a launcher heavy gun, will work with demo, expert, and master and heavy gunner alike. And we've got Nerd Rage there just kind of sitting dormant. I could probably chuck gun nut on there or whatever. What's it called? I keep saying gun nut. It's gunsmith. I could probably chuck rank 3 of gunsmith on because Nerd Rage is going to be sitting dormant for most of the time. And this thing hasn't got the best condition. But anyways, we've got Dodgy and Action Girl for resisting a little bit more damage. And of course, Bloody Mess goes on. And now we're doing just over 1,000 damage, which is pretty slick. Also, we're going to be in power armor, but to keep the Instigating legendary effect happening, you'll notice how I've got the fishbowl on my head. It's time to go Space Marine again. Okay, so here we are outside of I Wish a Buckethead Would Show Up, I'd rip his legs clean off, wait, this line makes no sense, Plaza, and here is my Harpoon gun. We'll just get started. I have nothing really to show about my armor other than I've got a jetpack and emergency protocols. One of them is sitting dormant right now, but as you can tell, a lot of damage when I shoot stuff, and there's some weird shot delay. Now, if you want to jump in and out of your power armor and then just re-equip Lock and Load, you can sometimes get rid of this huge shot delay after, but this is going to hold back our DPS significantly, and I don't know why the weapon does it. If I were to unequip and re-equip this once more, and see if I can actually sidestep that, it seems to be firing normally now, except it didn't. Only that first shot was had no delay, but now I'm stuck with this stupid ass delay. This just hurts our DPS so much that it's beyond any comprehension. It's definitely over the super mutants' heads, but it's so infuriating. I've got this thing reloaded and it's got this massive delay on it, and I think it's got something to do with how they've set it up in the form, in the creation kit or whatever they use. I assume it's the creation kit, but there's a little shot delay thing, and you can completely remove it. I've done this before, just, you know, messing around with Far Harbor stuff when I've made, I think it was my Iris mod. I just turned off the massive shot delay that happened, you know, after you reload the thing, and it just fixed it. And there's no reason why the gun wouldn't be able to fire unless it, like, there's nothing happening. There's no mechanical thing that I have to wait for. It's just annoying. Why is it like this? Why are so many of these weapons in this game just neglected? I get that not a lot of people would use something like a Harpoon gun because, well, the utility value is not there. It's more of a novelty weapon. But seriously, to make it a smoother experience for all and to have some sort of, I don't know, use generated for a Harpoon gun. I mean, you've got the weapon in the game, you've ported the assets over, you might as well make it better while you're at it, eh? Anyways, so now we're doing 1,800 damage with a bit of adrenal reaction there, so plenty of damage. And I think this is why you'd only see Harpoon guns being used when they're quad, because this shot delay sucks, man. It's no good. And I'm going to pull a little bit of a dodgy here, see if I can't break the perks by stepping in and outside of power armor. Oh, come on. I think when I got out of my power armor, I was undetected slightly. Bam. Okay, let's see. The reload speed is slow again, so it probably won't even matter whether the reload or the delay is on or not. What I might do is I'm gonna switch to third person. No, I'm not. Get out of here, doggos. I'm gonna try to make this goddamn work somehow. So if I pull lock and load, scroll, 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 put it back on, shoot him. Reload speed is good, and the delay at least has gone from there. Obviously, I didn't fire the gun consecutively fast enough to do that. Oh, and the delay is back. So if you want to make sure this thing fires really fast, just keep removing and putting back on lock and load. Oh, God. It's such a shame, though, because this thing has extremely powerful damage potential. I could chuck on something like, I don't know, covert operative and get a 2.5 times multiplier on my sneak criticals and just get even more. Unfortunately, I could probably be doing more damage with just an unspec pipe pistol because there's just a huge goddamn delay. It's driving me crazy. This weapon could be good, Bethesda. What are you doing? Never mind, they're making Wastelanders. They're not listening. They won't, then they're never listening. They don't listen. They gotta make Wastelanders, man. We gotta make this game profitable, bruh. We gotta make people actually start buying this game. Let's put NPCs in it. Let's just reboot the whole fucking thing. Let's call it Fallout 77. And the tagline is, this time we won't fuck it up, we promise. So, like any other explosive harpoon gun, you're going to be finding heaps and heaps of harpoons on your victims, which is good because you'll never have to craft harpoons ever as long as you've got at least one in your inventory, because one can turn into many. 2, I've seen up to 5, which is pretty ammo efficient. So, you know, in terms of ammo efficiency, this is so off the chart ammo efficient that you basically get ammo from using it, you know, which is pretty good. And honestly, I think I'll call it there. You get the idea against the super mutants. We'll see it in more crowd control situations, right? Where there's many ghouls running at us. You can't really tell exactly how much damage I'm getting because there's just a spray of numbers everywhere. I got 8 from that guy, so there you go. 1 for the price of, well, 8 for the price of 1, really. So, you know, I gained 7 rounds out of it, which is good. But yeah, I think you get the point. I'll be one-shotting super mutants complaining about the reload times more, or the shot delay anyway. He's got no idea what that sound is and will never have any idea. Okay, we'll take on the tools now, and what I'll do is try to make the best out of what reload situation I'll have. So basically how this is going to work, I'm just going to take a nice leisurely stroll through. Hello, ghouls. Tools. I need to annoy them. How would you annoy a ghoul? Like, I'm pretty sure they're all brain dead already. There's not a lot you could do to annoy them. I'm pretty sure they're like peak angry right now. They're all running around in nerd rage. Maybe these are the players that have died from making bloodied builds. They took too many rads. Anyways, so you'll notice how there's a bunch there, and I'll try to kill as many of them as possible. Yeah. So, potentially, good crowd control weapon. Again, held back by the reload speed dilemma, I suppose, and what I'll do is I'll try to gather them all around, try to push that explosive radius to its limits there. That one, he was dead, but then he decided not to die, which is fine, whatever. I do that some of the time too when I'm using, why did Minor Miracles show up? Yeah, I actually haven't constructed any power armor yet. I don't even think I've done it with Winter. I've never had a set of excavator power armor that I've crafted myself. Yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness sometimes where enemies just don't take the damage, but you know, it's Fallout 76. We're kind of used to that by now. Oh yeah, I've got yeah, okay. So you can do damage with yourself, even with what's it called, Fireproof 2 with this. But I've shotgunned myself before and did less damage than that. But there you go. Pretty good, and just to give you an idea of the damage, well, not Nerd Rage anymore, but 1700 is enough to kill most things. Okay, there's Swan over there. Try to not get detected from him, but would you believe sneaking around in power armor isn't the best way to do it? Still one-shot him even though we're standing over here, so there you go, some damage potential in this, sure. Alright, let's see if we can't take the Queen, the My Alert Queen that is, in one shot with this. Shouldn't be too hard once I've got full adrenaline. Main problem is that between the reload and the reload delay after reloading, I might lose adrenaline in the reload. Oh, hello. Okay, that's what was shooting at me. See if we can't snag a double kill out of this. Not quite. But regardless of that, he's weak anyway, so any shot will do him in from now on. And there's another glowing Mylurk over there. We'll get him killed. Mylurk Queen spawns up. Probably shouldn't have come out of sneaking then, but I was just looking around for any more targets. Now if we just whack her in the head, perhaps, might do her in. Yep, one shot, one kill. Definitely power you can depend on with this thing, that's for sure. Let's move on. Okie dokie, we've got a couple of bats about, and before I take on the bats, what I want to do is gather a little bit of a quick source of adrenaline here. It shouldn't be too hard to get the attention from these guys. The Scorched Beasts are already around, little baby ones. Shouldn't be too hard to take them out, but just to demonstrate the lack of power any explosive weapon has, I knocked out about half of his health and then he just regenerated it. And you'll see this, if you ever shoot a Scorched Beast Queen with an explosive weapon, it'll do precisely fuck all damage. Not happy about this. Why is this even a thing? Now, if you're going to land, that would be helpful. We might have a bit of chance when it's on the ground. No, we don't. Because fuck you. Fuck you, says the Scorched Beast. There we go. Looks like we managed to get through that time. Cheeky little triple kill. He was so impressed by that that he stopped doing his animations for a bit. I feel like we should be able to one-shot the Scorched Beast, but... And we should have killed him with the follow-up for sure. Yeah, whatever, you can do your thing. I don't really care. I'm also in Nerd Rage right now. Should have killed him. You should be long dead. That one I'll let slide because I hit the Scorched in front of you, which is just a heroic sacrifice for your bat overlords. I'll give you that. So now we just got to cruise around. We'll mosey over down to this the fissure site. Probably just ignore all the stupid gun zombies, although... Ah, there you are. Just pop the caps in them every so often just for maintaining adrenaline intake, and if we've got the spawn out of here, it should be fun. It's a legendary as well. VATS time. We should use it in VATS, right? But I can't because I've got no AP. Yeah, I probably should take off dodgy, even though the the damage avoidance thing from it is actually pretty good. Now, if you just back off a little bit, mate, that would be helpful. Don't worry about being punched by him. I've been punched by the Scorched Beast Queen. You think you're hot shit, Scorched Beast? So as expected, the bats we just hit a fucking brick wall because we're using explosive weapons against bats. Absolutely no good. Come Wastelanders, these bad boys might not be around anymore, so, pending how Bethesda handles the Scorched Plague post Wastelanders release, well, we might not have to deal with this explosive nonsense after that. That was close. I better not get punched again. That will actually kill me. Get out of here. Off you go. Back to the depths of hell with you. Still didn't kill that guy. Oh, it's because he didn't take any damage. Oh, the cracks are starting to show now. Goddamn serendipity. The AI get it apparently at 100% health, and we got pissed on and we died. Yeah, no good. You'll notice when I'm queen testing weapons that I'll basically never use an explosive weapon, and this is precisely why. It's like this but tenfold, because you want to do the damage against a Scorched Beast Queen, and if you can't, well, you're basically fucked, especially when I've got this long-ass reload to do. Please let me get you during the crop dusting phase. A whopping 15. I'm just gonna cut until I kill him, alright? Right, 3 shots later. Make that 4 shots later. We did it! Yay! Okay, well, anything smaller than a Scorch Beast you're going to go absolutely fine with. But anything Scorch Beast or bat-sized, use something else. For God's sake, use anything else. This thing is no good. And it's really unfortunate, but I think it's just how Bethesda have put the game together, because I don't think it's the big hitboxes that might throw you off, because I shot Swan and a Mirelurk Queen before and that was fine. Although, since they were in Fallout 4 Paps, they had more time to figure out their hitboxes and they just fucking, I don't know, slap the dragon hitbox over a Scorch Beast. I don't know, I'm grasping at straws here, but I don't have to tell you why I will never test many things explosive, because it just sucks. So, there you have it. It's got the power dependent on it, but also makes the game crash. So if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, be sure to let me know. I'm willing to let this one go for caps, sure. Thank you for watching, guys.